Will Ospreay possibly to WWE? How familiar are you with Will?
Well, I just found out about him in the last 6 months. It's where I found out about him. He really, really has a unique style. How old is the guy? It's the first thing I want to know.
I will find out one sec. I'll be very quick. I won't even pause. Stupid impact. He's born in 93, so he is 30.
30 years old. Okay.
Right time to go. You're 30.
Okay. We just found out, I just found out that he's 30 years old and he's right in that phase of his career that he needs to start turning some big money. Some big money. Because I've seen his style, and his style is very apt to have an injury. And when he has an injury, hey, your career could be over. I mean, he does a lot of great stuff. He throws a lot of great impact moves. But all it takes is him to land on and break his ankle, to twist his knee, to knock a shoulder out. Then he's going to be out of action at least 9 months. And in that time, 9 months in the wrestling business, damn near a lifetime, because things can change. But what I'm worried about is that he may not be able to do the same moves he did before. See, he doesn't get over by personality. He doesn't get over by interviews. He gets over by actual grinding and digging and actually working in the ring. And if you get to a point that you can't do that, it becomes very difficult. So I would advise him that he needs to make up his mind. If he wants to go to WWE, please go now while the clock is not ticking so fast for you. Because when you hit 35, after going through, and I mean, 35 today is not like 35, 20 years ago, because we had so many more dates that the wrestlers worked. They would work sometimes actual wrestling matches in front of house shows. They would work them, and I've said before, 6 times a week, an actual match in front of people. Now I think it's down to, say, 3 or 4. It's down somewhat, because I think you work 3 house shows and then you do a Raw. And then you work 3 house shows and you do a SmackDown. Or you work 3 house shows after the SmackDown. I don't know how they got it down. But the wrestling load is a little bit lighter now, but he needs to go ahead before he gets any older. And he has an agent now. What's the agent? Barry Bloom?
Yeah, the wrestling super agent Barry Bloom. I think he may have been introduced by Jesse Ventura or something.
Yeah, well, and a lot of guys are helping this kid because they're saying the same thing I'm saying. Go before you get any older, because that clock ticks and it doesn't wait on anybody. So once you he's not known for a booking mind. He's not known for interviews or anything else. He's known for his actual ring work. And what's going to hinder that, of course, if he gets hurt during all these matches. So go while you still are young, and save your money and go from there.
Now, I was looking up the amount of matches he's had. I mean, in previous episodes, we've had a laugh at people. I think it was Tyrus who said, man, that road life for 300 dates a year and stuff. And it's like, and we looked at how many matches he'd done, and it was about 6, like in a year. Will Ospreay, he's done, 70 or so matches this year so far. Now, obviously, it's nothing compared to back in the old days, but the majority of his matches are in New Japan, far harder hitting than your average American promotion. Really, really can do your body not much good, doing that kind of schedule in a Japanese ring. And also, I think basically he wrestles every match as if it's his last. He was at Wembley. I saw him. I thought he was in the best match of the night. I thought he was great. And yes, so I think cash in basically before your body fails you, because if you don't now, there's no pension plan on the indies, and I don't know how New Japan does their business either.
He's like a baseball pitcher. That arm is only going to last so long before you just lose it. I mean, you can't throw consistently 95 and 100 miles an hour over time, because it would just go away on its own by wear and tear. But now we're not talking about just wear and tear on a shoulder. On wrestling, we're talking about knees and shoulders and neck and back, ankles. We're talking all of that. So you have much more to injure or to get hurt than you would in baseball. And baseball, they only pitch every 3 or 4 days. They pitch like, I don't know, in 2 weeks, they'll pitch like 2 or 3 times, 2 times, maybe 3 times. And that gives that arm time to rest. But in wrestling, you don't really have that much time to rest. If you go to Japan, you're only there for 2 weeks. You might do 8 matches in that amount of time. I don't know how that works, but my advice doesn't change. Go while you can, get your money while you can, before your body tells you can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm just looking 10 matches in 2 weeks, maybe even more, who knows. Do you think it's going to be the kind of same thing as when Shinsuke Nakamura went to WWE and everyone was thinking, great, we're going to get the Nakamura of New Japan? But then I think when Shinsuke came over, he essentially started working not as hard hitting, it basically just lightening up his own style for longevity's sake for himself as well.
They told him to, because their talent, they couldn't put up with that. See, they don't need that every night. I mean, and I think it's better for the fans. They don't see it every night. They tune into a pay-per-view to see it. And a lot of guys don't want all that around them anyway, because their style, say they follow his match, they can't follow the match, because they get out there with a lighter style, tell more story, and it doesn't make them look bad. It makes them not look as good. And again, that is a harder hitting style. Japan wrestling, totally different than American wrestling. You bring some of this American stuff over there, they would actually run you out of town on a rail and hang you at the city limits to bring that crap wrestling in here. So, but anyway, I think anybody who has that hard-hitting style like that, yeah, it's good for the big matches. That's where it should be safe for. But for a match, say a first, a second, a third match on the card, you don't need that. So, and I don't think anybody would miss it. And also, you got to have a guy who's pretty well versed in your style to even do it with. So you might be trying to do it with a guy who's never done it before and hurt yourself trying to do it with him. So there's a lot of things that go into that. But still, you don't know when you're going to get hurt. So hold yourself back, pace yourself till that big money starts coming.